All right, so we're diving deep today
Mm-hmm.
into The Old Man and the Sea, Hemingway.
Okay.
Specifically that opening line
Right.
that everybody keeps talking about.
Right.
You guys, our listeners, you really want to break this down. And honestly, I kind of get it.
Mm.
So we've got the opening lines you send over,
Mm.
a little bit about Hemingway himself, and some thoughts from, well, people way smarter than me.
Yeah, always good to have those.
Always good to have them. So
Gets you thinking.
where do we even start with something like this? It's just one sentence, right? But it's supposed to be this huge deal.
It really is amazing how much weight a single sentence can carry.
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. So for anyone who maybe hasn't read it, what is that first line?
He was an old man who fished alone in a skiff in the Gulf Stream, and he'd gone 84 days now without taking a fish.
Okay, even just hearing it, it's like,
It's powerful.
boom, you're right there with them.
You're immediately drawn into the story.
I've never even been fishing, and I'm like invested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of Hemingway's style.
Okay, so how does he do it? I mean, is there some secret formula?
Well, not a formula exactly, but there are definitely some key elements at play here.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, you've got the directness. He's not messing around with flowery language or anything.
Straight to the point.
Exactly. He's just putting the information right out there. Old man, fishing alone, skiff, Gulf Stream. Simple declarative sentences.
So, like, we're not wasting any time.
Exactly. He's cutting to the chase, just like he would if he were writing a news report.
Okay, so that's the style, but then there's that number, 84 days. What's up with that?
That's the hook. That's what makes you want to keep reading.
He's like 84 days. What is he, stubborn, crazy?
Right. You immediately want to know more about this guy. What drives him to keep going?
Especially if he's not even catching anything.
Exactly. And that's classic Hemingway. He's giving you just enough information to pique your curiosity, but he's leaving a lot unsaid.
So it's like a mystery we have to solve.
In a way, yes. He's inviting you to read between the lines, to imagine the struggles and triumphs this old man has experienced over those 84 days.
So it's not just about what's on the page, but also what's not said.
Precisely. It's about the power of suggestion. Hemingway called this his iceberg theory.
The iceberg theory. Okay, I've heard that before, but explain it like I'm, well, not a literary scholar.
Think of an iceberg.
Yeah.
You only see the tip above the water,
Right.
right? But there's this whole massive structure underneath the surface.
Right. The majority of it is hidden.
Exactly. And that's how Hemingway viewed writing. The words on the page are just the tip of the iceberg. The real meaning, the emotional weight of the story, that's all beneath the surface.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So how does this iceberg theory apply to this one sentence about the old man and the sea?
Well, on the surface, it's a simple statement of fact. But beneath that, there's a whole world of meaning. 84 days without a fish suggests failure, hardship, maybe even despair. But it also hints at resilience, determination, this refusal to give up.
Wow, and we get all that from just a few words.
Exactly. Because Hemingway is carefully choosing his words, using language that is both simple and evocative.
Okay, so he's making every word count.
Absolutely. And it's not just the words themselves, but also the rhythm and structure of the sentence.
Rhythm and structure. Okay, you're losing me again.
Think about how the sentence flows. It's almost like the rocking of a boat, right?
Mm.
He was an old man who fished alone in a skiff in the Gulf Stream. It's slow, steady, almost hypnotic.
And then it builds to that climax, 84 days.
Exactly. The way he structures the sentence mirrors the experience he's describing. It's like we're right there with the old man, feeling the slow, steady rhythm of the sea.
Okay, I never thought about it like that, but it makes sense.
And that's the genius of Hemingway. He's able to convey so much with so little.
So it's like we're active participants in the story, not just passive observers.
Exactly. He's drawing us in, making us feel the weight of those 84 days alongside the old man.
Okay, so we've unpacked this one sentence, and it's clearly more than just a throwaway line. But for those of us who aren't Hemingway, what's the takeaway? Like, how do we apply this to our own lives, even if we're not writing the next great American novel?
Well, the iceberg theory isn't just about writing. It's a way of thinking about communication in general.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Think about how we communicate every day. We rely on context, shared experiences, unspoken understanding. The iceberg theory reminds us that what we don't say can be just as powerful as what we do say.
That's actually really profound.
It is. It's about being mindful of the silences, the spaces between the words.
So it's like that old saying, less is more.
Exactly. Sometimes the most powerful communication is about what's left unsaid. It allows the other person to meet you halfway, to bring their own experiences and interpretations to the table.
So what you're saying is Hemingway was onto something with this whole iceberg theory thing.
Absolutely. And it's something we can all learn from, whether we're writers, speakers, or just trying to communicate more effectively in our everyday lives.
I am starting to think that maybe those English teachers were onto something.
Maybe, just maybe.
All right, so we've thoroughly dissected this opening line, but it makes you think,
What's that?
how do you follow that? I mean, Hemingway set the bar pretty high for himself with that first sentence. So the question is, how did he live up to it? And that, my friends, is for you to discover.